Are you tired of losing bet after bet and watching your bankroll disappear? Well, what if I told you there was a betting strategy out there that guarantees you'll always make money and never lose? That you can execute this strategy on your own time and you don't have to sit in front of a computer screen for hours and hours on end. In fact, I just used this strategy last year to make over $5,000. If you haven't adjusted your betting strategy to incorporate the insights that I'm going to reveal to you in this video, you could be missing out on hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. On top of that, there are 3 mistakes that I'm going to share with you towards the end of this video that you need to be aware of when it comes to this strategy. And the last tip is by far going to save you a ton of money. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to make consistent profits. I upload videos every week teaching you how you can beat the sportsbooks yourself. The strategy that I'm referring to is called arbitrage betting. Because all sportsbooks set their lines independently of each other and they want your business, this is how arbitrage is possible. So when we're arbitrage betting, we're always going to be hedging our bets. That means we're going to bet the over and the under, and we're going to make a risk-free profit. So no matter what side happens, whether the over hits or the under hits, we're going to be profitable. So right here for this basketball player for the Lakers, you can see on his over-under that BetMGM has his priced over way higher than all the other sports books. Whereas they have, ESPN Bet has his under priced way different than everybody else. So we're going to have an over 5% return on this wager. So when you click on this purple calculator right here, if we wagered $155 on ESPN Bet, we would need to wager $24 to $25 on BetMGM. This would be our total staked amount right here. And no matter what happens, we're going to make a $10 profit. That is insane. So whether he goes over or under, it doesn't matter. Because of the difference in the odds, we can make a risk-free profit. Now, I will warn you, this strategy won't work if you make the common mistakes that I see so many people make, like placing one leg of the bet and then going in the fridge to grab a drink and then placing the other leg of the bet a few minutes later. You have to make these at the same time. Or they don't use a calculator to find out the exact amount they need to bet and they just make a wild guess. The reason that arbitrage betting isn't really talked about a lot is because I feel most beginners don't even know it's possible. They just know of parlays and straight wagers. So now you have an idea of what arbitrage is, that's great, but you're not going to be able to find these plays on your own. And if you find one, great, but you're not going to be able to do this consistently without some type of software. So DraftKings is one sports book out of dozens upon dozens of sports books out there. We go to one football game, Chiefs-Ravens. We're just on the popular tab. Look at all the different things we can wager on. This is insane. If we wanted to go to passing props, there's a bunch of different passing props for the quarterback, for the wide receivers. Look at all the different yards and receptions we can bet on. What about the running backs? This is one game. So the problem is that there's literally 40 to 60,000 different options per one sports book that you can wager on. You're not going to be able to go through all these sports books, sift through thousands of different lines and find these arbitrage opportunities yourself. Right now, as of recording, there's only 15 arbitrage opportunities between the thousands of different lines between the sports books. OddsJam software sifts through all of them and then shows us the biggest discrepancies. And out of all of these discrepancies, there's really only 3 plays right here that are worth playing, and they're the top 3 right here. If anything's under 1%, guys, in my opinion, it's not worth actually wagering on. So guys, if you want to try OddsJam, use my code Billy35. It's going to save you 35% off your first month with OddsJam. Now, one of the newest features with OddsJam that's super awesome, especially when it comes to arbitrage betting, is their one-click feature. So right here we have an arbitrage play between the Hawks and the Kings, and over on FanDuel and ESPN Bet. So I just click on this bet button over here on FanDuel, and boom, it pulls the game up right here. So you don't have to take the time to search for the play and figure out where it is on the sportsbook. The one-click feature takes you right to this play, and you can arbitrage super fast and efficient. Do you have to have a bunch of different sportsbook accounts to arbitrage bet? No, you don't. But it's silly not to take advantage of every sportsbook that's available to you where you live. First off, they all offer wonderful promos and sign-up bonuses to build that bankroll. And then naturally, guys, the more sportsbooks you have, the more opportunities you can have to arbitrage. Now, in terms of when it's best to arbitrage and not, it's usually best to arbitrage in the morning or in the afternoon. When games are going on in the evening, guys, you're not going to find a lot of opportunities. First tip on arbitrage betting, start small. Don't get greedy. You need to get comfortable and gain some confidence with this software. Get your reps in before we can really up that wager size. So right here, first play, Victor Wembanyama. We're getting like a 2.5% return on this investment. Don't go crazy and put $150 on Betway and then $135 on FanDuel and be like, oh man, we can make $7 risk-free profit and make this your first ARB. Because then you go over to Betway, you make the first bet, and then when you go over to FanDuel, the odds change and you're like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. So right here, start small. Just put $10 on Betway and then $9 on FanDuel. And yes, you're only going to make roughly 45 to 50 cents on this first play, but it's about getting some reps in. Also, don't add change to the end of your bet like this, $9.04. Don't do that. It's a clear red flag giveaway to the sportsbooks. Round your numbers, so keep this at $9. So naturally then, as we start to up our wagering size, guys, I love to keep my bets in zeros and in fives. It just makes me look like a casual sports bettor to the sportsbooks. So right here on the FanDuel side, I would knock this down to $85. And if the hits on FanDuel, yeah, we're missing out on an extra 87 cents of profit here, but I can live with that. Tip number 2 is that FanDuel is going to be your best friend when it comes to arbitrage betting. They have a very special feature that few other sportsbooks offer. Here it is. So right here on this Klay Thompson play right here, over 4.5 3-pointers made. When we pull this up over at FanDuel at plus 195, let's say I wanted to bet $500 on this play. Right here, they tell you that the maximum wager I can bet is $205.10. Very few other sportsbooks, guys, offer this feature. A lot of the other sportsbooks, you have to just put in the amount you want to bet, click submit, and then hope and pray that they'll take it. So now we know the maximum bet that FanDuel will take is $205. Open up the calculator, plug that in. We're going to want to go over to ESPN Bet, see if they will accept the $396 wager. If they do, awesome. Then go back to FanDuel and submit the bet for $205. What you don't want to do is find out the maximum that FanDuel will take, submit that bet first, then go over to ESPN Bet and hope that they take the $396, when maybe ESPN Bet will say, guess what? We can only take $250. Now you're at risk and you don't want to do that. The first thing you want to do is check what FanDuel will allow you to do the max of, then go over to the other book, smash that play, then come back to FanDuel and bet this second because you know they'll accept that amount. And that ties into the next point, which is player props are a less liquid market. Just for Klay Thompson at 3-pointers alone, you could bet him on 3.5, 4.5, or 5.5. And that's just one category. You're going to be able to get a lot more money down on money line spreads and over-unders. You can still get action down on player prop bets, but keep it under $150. FanDuel is one of the better sports books in terms of letting you bet a larger amount of money. Some of the softer books like Bet Rivers, Ballybet, BetMGM, over time, guys, with player props, they're not going to let you bet more than $100. The last tip, guys, is be very careful when you're executing this strategy if you're using a sportsbook called Fliff. They are the only sportsbook that I know of that are known to cancel tickets when they realize that they are at risk and their lines are stale. Now, they only allow a max wager of up to $250, but still, if they're one of the books that you have an arbitrage play going on with and they cancel that ticket, you are truly exposed then on the other side, and that's going to give you a heart attack. In my opinion, stay away from Fliff when you're arbitrage betting. You have the tips to grow your bankroll and start making risk-free money. Arbitrage betting is just one aspect of my highly profitable betting strategy that has made me over $30,000. Check out this video right here that's going to go through that entire strategy step by step so that you know exactly what to do and start earning money right now.